Change over, please. So we now come to the story of Center for Sight. And Center for Sight has been and established with a mission to provide the best quality of comprehensive eye care with a personal touch. It has gradually established itself as one of the best eye hospitals in India. We have Dr. Mahipal Sachdeva sir and chairman of Center for Sight Group of Eye Hospitals, the past president of AIOS and awarded Padma Shri by Government of India. Mahipal sir has been a teacher, has been a mentor, and has been one of the most important presidents in the COVID times for AIOS. Sir, all this helps.
Thank you very much, Partha, for the kind introduction. And thank you very much for getting me over to talk about the story of Center for Sight as to how we made it. Well, I would say that a man without education is like a building without a foundation, and the education really started at modern school. I've always had long stints of work wherever I was, so I spent 13 years in school. Not that I failed twice, but we had two kindergartens, KG1, KG2, going on to junior school and then senior school. And that is where I think our principal always used to stress on all round development. And the foundations were laid there, I would say, for whatever we are today. And then came the year of reckoning. There are a lot of people who are from Shankar Netralaya here, but I spent more than, again, 20 years in All India Institute of Medical Sciences from 76 to 96. And that's where it all started. And just a reminiscence, we have an old group, and just last week, the paper cutting in which the results of the 35 candidates selected for All India Institute were kind of put around in the group. So that is nostalgic. But I think All India Institute of Medical Sciences still ranks among the top medical colleges in the world. I think that's one of the few medical colleges in India which has a ranking globally, and that is where it all started. And I felt that this is the place where we actually blossomed, where you could do almost everything because you had all the types of patients and you had all the types of technology. So it wasn't that you didn't have technology, and that is where we looked at. And my first choice for post graduation was ophthalmology. And 1982 January went into RP Center, and this is how RP Center was at that particular time. But what we saw there was super specialization in ophthalmology. I think Professor LP Agarwal, who created RP Center, was the first to introduce super specialization in ophthalmology in India. And we could see the greatest masters, and just watching the masters as to how they would do a particular procedure, how a small movement of their wrist or of their fingers, etc., they could get the best results. And that was something which was really fantastic. And obviously we had the various equipment to do that. But then all of you know, there is a tipping point that comes in everybody's life. uh, Very well established youngest person to become a faculty uh, in year 87, even before I completed my senior residency. But then I went on a sabbatical to Georgetown University. And what is come today, like all of us are doing myopography, we have papers in investigative ophthalmology. Natti talked about ARVO, etc. And those were the days when we had papers on how to do infrared myopography, etc. And we worked on the confocal microscope. But I would say that everyone has a tipping point, and the tipping point was Dwight Kavanagh. Though I was with him only for 1 year, he was aiming for a Nobel Prize at that particular time with this work on the endothelium and on the confocal microscope. And that really stirred me, that is this my reckoning, that I would just stay back, become a faculty, maybe become a director or something in the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, because there is enough and more politics in every institution in India. And can we not create something which is when we can do something much more and create an institution bigger than your name? And that is when I would say that when you step out of your comfort zone, and the comfort zone was the glass tower of All India Institute of Medical Sciences, where I would say that almost everyone wants to be as a faculty. I had been there. My parents were dead against it, but then thought that I'll get out of it. Indraprastha Apollo Hospital was coming, and that's when I left the job, put in my papers in 1996, and that's the starting of the CFS vision. The vision actually at that time entailed that there was significant lack of super specialty niche ophthalmic in North India. All the we just had a talk on Shankar Netralaya, so whether it is Arvind Shankar Netralaya or later on Shankara, etc., or Eye Foundation, they are all located in south of India. LV Prasad for that matter, and there wasn't anything in the private sector which was there, or in the NGO space. There was obviously RP Center and Guru Nanak and PGI, but they were all in the government center. And you know that there are obviously the problems that you have in the government. So the foresight at that particular time was that there is no player in the corporate center which was giving super specialized eye care, and we needed to build an institution for the future and move beyond cataract clinics, which majority of the people were just cataract clinics. And the other important thing was how to run a business. At the end of the day, wealth creation, to reinvest in technology, because we have never sought out funds as maybe Shankar Netralaya has. We have never taken a single rupee as a donation from anybody. So you have to have a business which has to run, and the clear ideology was institution above self and excellence above quick profit, and the first movers in technology. That is something very important. So what I craved for, and the vision that was there, was to create a platform for excellence and an opportunity to lead with cutting edge technology. Phacoemulsification and LASIK were two things with which I stepped out when I left All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and my gut was that these two are going to be path breaking technologies, and we wanted to create a platform to make a difference, and the purpose was to create an institution much bigger than yourself. Now, one important thing whenever you set up for all these things is to do a SWOT analysis. And a SWOT analysis, if you write down and do a SWOT analysis, that is very important. What are your strengths? You have to play on your strengths. You have to seize the opportunities that are there, and you should try to overcome your weaknesses, but never play on a weak ground. Like, I have never said that I will go and do a cataract surgery at 2000 rupees and make money, because that's not my strength. That is somebody else's strength. Dr. RDR is sitting there, and that itself is a business model. So, but the point is, what is your strength? You need to play on that, and what are the threats that you have? So, SWOT analysis is very important. And as I often say, that when all of us who have written publications, it's very easy to write materials methods, it's very easy to write the results. You can also write the conclusion, but the most difficult part is to write the abstract and then give the one line title, because that sums up everything as to what it is. So therefore, this is something very important, that you have to, in a one page or half a page, write as to what you want to do and what are your strengths, etc. And then you need to be standing out to be outstanding, and that is something important. That phacoemulsification became a thing that we thought was going to happen. There were if we were two speakers, there were two people listening, and the next speaker would be, say, coming up to speak. So that is what phacoemulsification was. I still remember the Jaipur AIOC, that where the four of us were speaking and the thing. But that is your instinct and your guts, that is what it is. And phacoemulsification and LASIK were two things that we looked at, and gone to every nook and corner of India to do live surgery demonstrations, and wrote the first book. I think that is something that was there. And the next big leap was to, even though came from a middle class family, parents were good, but I didn't have a wealth. So I just took the big step of starting on with laser vision correction, and these two things got us the revenue, got us the money, and got us the technology. So what is important is, I don't know, I've shown this slide before, but youngsters sitting there, how many of you recognize who this guy is? Sorry, Vasavada? So anyway, sorry, I can't hear. So this is not Neil Armstrong. All of you will remember Neil Armstrong. This is Buzz Aldrin. He's the second guy who put the step on the moon, and nobody remembers that he's the second guy who's put the step on the moon. So the important thing is that you have to be a leader in technology, and a technology that works. So that is something very important. And during the gold rush, it is a good time to be in the pick and shovel business also. So you need not be only at the technology, but you can also work around it wherever there are things that you can get. Now, the most important thing I can say is that apart from technology, the second important thing, or maybe that could be the first in order, was to build a team. Right from the outside, I went hunting, fishing, whatever you want to go, poaching, catching people from All India Institute of Medical Sciences who were the very best. The first to join me was somebody from Arvind Walter Mascarans, and then Avnindra Gupta. But after that, we had Dr. Harsh Kumar coming in for glaucoma. We had Lalit Verma. We had Dinesh Talwar. We have my teachers, Dr. Prem Prakash coming in, Dr. Dada coming in, Dr. Pradeep Sharma. So the point is that our hunt has always been unending. So whether we look at Santosh Anovar, whether we look at Ajit Babu, Mukesh, so we have always, you can make great people out of anybody, and that we are making. That is the second rung that we are doing. But to initially start, you have to have the very best, and that is what it is, that you don't build a business, you build people, and then people build the business for you. So doctor centric model where doctors play their destiny. I have always invested on doctors, which has been different from other corporates where they have not invested that heavily into doctors. Technology and doctors investment and the super specialty approach is what we have. Just to show you a couple of people, major, we have two ex major journals, Parihar and Dr. Sagarika, etc., with us. And once you have a team that is there, the fist versus the power of five, you have to be giving. And in giving, you have to make the next generation grow, and you have to give them surgery and a free hand. I do not restrict even a single instrument, equipment. A fellow of mine can do a femtocataract. It is not that a fellow cannot. It is, if they know the technique and they can do it, pretty well do it, and do that, and let us work together as a group. You have to constantly keep working on yourself, and that is what we have done at Center for Sight, that we have always tried to excel in what we are doing. And it is always WIP, work in progress, that you always work, you are always working. And making a brand. Most of the people you have seen who have grown have not put their name in front of the brand. That was a very myopic thing when people put their own name before it, that it is Ramkumar Eye Center or XYZ Eye Center, because that becomes a rate limiting step. Whenever you have a neutral name, people love to come and work, and they can say that, okay, we are working. And the establishment of a brand wherever you are is something which is very important. But the image, mission, values, and vision have to be clearly described, and that has to go down the percolate down to the people that you are. Now, one important thing is that you have to make your presence felt, whether it be on CMEs, lectures, seminar, public lectures, uh, digital presence, etc. You have to reach out to people, and in this information age, information technology should be easily made available to you. uh, Successful brand creation has, it's always, again, it's a work in progress, and that has been something where we have looked at and constantly endeavored to make a brand. And brand recall, customer assurance, today you can see brands after COVID are really growing, whether it be in the super specialty space or in ophthalmology. The growth of brands has been very significant, those who signify something. And that is what you have. You have to give the super specialty care, give identity to the products, and set the price which you are worth. Future is going to be very, very disruptive. That's what I see. Artificial intelligence is going, it's working much faster than any one of us thought. And you have to embrace technology, and technology is going to evolve very fast. And for that, creation of wealth is something very important, because you have to be able to buy technology. And technology adaptation cycle is always there. When you adopt a technology, you are going to have people who are going to be the naysayers. Majority of them are going to be naysayers. And I have said this before, when we started phacoemulsification, they said, what hell does a patient need early rehabilitation for? You get wound burns, you get iris chafing, you get nucleus drop. Why should you do phacoemulsification? This was newspaper cuttings, and in Times of India it came. Like LASIK, not fit for Indian eyes. So you will have to go through that if you are an early innovator. You have to look at it, get early adoption and early majority, and then when the late majority and the laggards come in, you have established yourself as numero uno or the leader at that particular time, and that is where we have. So we have gone through FACO, we have gone through SMILE. Education is something very important. Fellowship, DNB, giving back to society, ophthalmic community is something important. R&D, also has contributed significantly. In-house institutional today, we are proud to say that the silk technology of Elita that has come, we were the first center in the entire global world to do studies on that, and we are getting international recognition for that. Training in research methodology, analysis, thesis, etc. is important. One final thing, two final things I'll wish to say is that success is an antithesis to taking risks. If you are not risk, if you are always going to be risk averse, you are never going to make it big. Your progress will be there, but things will be slow. So risk reward is an antithesis. So you have to risk doing it. And this was a fructification of 22-year-old dream, 90,000 square feet facility that we have. And today, 2023, we are across 15 states, 77 centers, 14 states and UTs which are there. The count has gone up to 184 doctors now, 70% surgical revenue that we have. And one other thing that Center for Sight has always believed in is the word Kaizen, which is Japanese, which stands for to Kai and Zen, and which is change for the good. That means small incremental steps, but all these steps should be changing towards the good that is there. But work will work when nothing else works. This is the story of Dashrath Manji, who could make a road through his bare hands, cutting through hills. So you have to be very hardworking. You still have to be the first to come into the center and be the last to go and lead from the front. Still working 14 hours a day, though I'm reaching 65. But the goals and the accomplishment are all based on the bridge of self-discipline. Discipline in your team, in the entire workforce of Center for Sight has been something very important. And this is just, Partha, sorry, last 1 minute. Can you give the volume, please?
Should stand for a culture of excellence. The excellence not by accident.
Volume,
It is
please.
a process where an individual
Connected
continuously
in E.
strives to better oneself.
Can
Prepared to take calculated risk.
okay. So this is Kalam Saab. I think he's a favorite for all of us.
You should stand for a culture of excellence. The excellence not by accident. It is a process where an individual continuously strives to better oneself. The performance standards are set by themselves. They work on their dreams with focus and are prepared to take calculated risk and do not get deterred by failures as they move towards their dreams. Then they step up their dreams as they tend to reach the original targets. They strive to work to their potential. In the process, they increase their performance, thereby multiplying further their potential. This is an unending life cycle phenomena, culture of excellence. They are not in competition with anyone else but themselves. That is a culture of excellence. I'm sure each one of you will aspire to become a unique with culture of excellence. To get a unique you, it's a big battle. The battle means you don't need to take a gun. The battle means you have to have four unique things. Four unique tools you must have in that battle. One is you have to set the goal. The second one is acquire the knowledge continuously. And third one is a hard work with the devotion. And fourth is perseverance. Question is whether you want to be you or everybody else.
So, friends, that is the story of perseverance and Center for Sight. Thank you very much.